Good evening, everybody. I'm David Burton-Sampson MP, the MP for Southend West and Leigh, the area that has never been Labour ever before July 2024. So I'm the first ever Labour MP, and I'm delighted to now be elected representing my constituents in Parliament. I'm also delighted that we've been invited here tonight by SME for Labour, for this wonderful dinner that we're about to have together. And I'd like to thank the two sponsors, Alicia Bank and also Intuit. We'll be hearing from Kerry shortly. Where's Kerry? You're there. Hi, Kerry. Nice to meet you. And also Conrad as well. Nice to meet you, Conrad. And we also have Gareth Thomas, MP here, who is going to be giving us a keynote talk shortly as well. So, did you know that? No? There you go. It's all right. Yeah. You've got about half an hour. Yeah. Good. Cool. So, in the meantime, please enjoy your starter, and we'll get cracking with some of the talk soon. The key... Oh, I can hear myself now. There we go. The key tonight is we're going to be looking at the challenges and opportunities facing small businesses and how the Labour government, the new Labour government, intends to address them. So that's our topic for tonight. There'll be a chance to ask some questions as well as we go on through the evening. So please dig into your starter and then we'll hear from our sponsors from the evening. Thank you. I'm going to hand you over to Ibrahim Douglas from SME for Labour. This man's amazing. He organises all these events. He's a fantastic person. He's going to do a very quick welcome.
I wasn't planning to, but thank you, David. I think my colleagues wanted me to say a few words. Gareth, thank you very much for being here. I know I've been messaging you non-stop. I've been chasing up, maybe it's kind of further than chasing up, non-stop messages. But thank you for being here tonight. I mean, SME for Labour is relatively a young, new organization. We started only 7 years ago. Our key aim was to make sure that SMEs find Labour as their home, and Labour Party starts doing a bit more in terms of engagement and making sure small businesses' voices are heard within the Labour family. And with Gareth, I am very hopeful that from now on we will have a strong champion of small business community in the government. And I'll pass on to David and move on.
Thank you, Ibrahim. We'll now hand over to Kerry McKean, if that's okay. And Kerry is the General Counsel at Intuit. So, Kerry, over to you to say a few words. I think you've got a mic just in front of you.
Right here. Hello. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you and welcome to this great dinner. It's something that we are super passionate about as small businesses. Intuit represents millions of small businesses around the world and many in the UK. And as you know, it's been a very hard couple of years for small businesses. They comprise such a huge part of our economy and our workforce, employing many, many people, our neighbors, our family, our friends. And many of them fail within 5 years of starting. And it is our passion to help those small businesses succeed. And one of the ways that we are hoping to help them succeed is through technology, digitization, and things like AI to make their work easier, to make them more successful in their business, be able to predict trends, et cetera, and to be able to compete on the same level as large businesses. AI has that potential to help small businesses compete with larger businesses. We're super excited to be here with SME for Labour and excited to partner with them going forward to help ensure that small businesses are successful under this new administration. So thank you. We're excited to be here.
I'll now introduce Conrad Ford, who is Chief Product and Strategy Officer at Alika.
Hey everyone, firstly thank you for coming along. I know that the mission of the new government is growth. Well, Alika Bank is the fastest growing company in the UK. We topped the Times 100 fastest growing companies, and we actually found out last week we were the fastest growing ever on that list. So we know a thing or two about growth. But I didn't say that to boast, but I wanted to sort of bring to life why it is we've been so successful. We're a bank that's focused on serving what we call established SMEs. So if you want to know what an established SME is, when you drive into a town you've never been before, and you accidentally drive into an industrial estate, have to do a U-turn, and there's a small factory or warehouse, that's an established SME, or it's a family-run hotel, or it's a small chain of shops. They comprise only about 10% of all SMEs. So of the 5.5 million, they're about 500,000. But those 500,000 is a third of the economy. It's a much bigger part of the economy than micro businesses, who are important to us. And those businesses really struggle with banking because for the big banks, they find it really awkward. These businesses are too small for corporate banking, and they're people in suits, but they're also too big and complex for consumer banking. So for that reason, our segment gets underserved, and we're obviously well aware of the problems with lending, but also more recently, they've had their banking services withdrawn. 140,000 SMEs have had their banking services withdrawn. So for that reason, I wanted to talk about the importance of making sure that we have financial services and that we don't forget the critical importance of 500,000 businesses, because if we ever want to level up, we need to make sure that every town has got a few dozen thriving local established SMEs. And just to round off, I just want to call attention to Ibrahim, who's a force of nature, is how I described you to a colleague the other day. It's quite extraordinary what you've done, and it's all in bringing together SME for Labour and many, many other things. When I talk to him at lunch, he describes as many activities, and I get lost halfway along. It's quite extraordinary. You're a force of nature, and you've done that on top of building a business yourself, a very successful business. And it's really nice to have somebody in these circles who actually really understands the reality of family and business. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Conrad. And sorry, Alika, not Alika, forgive me. We're now going to hand over to our keynote speaker, which is Gareth Thomas, MP, and let me get your new title correct. So Gareth is the Minister for Services, Small Businesses and Exports. Am I right? Good. So we'll hand over to Gareth. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say. Over to Gareth.
David, thanks very much. And firstly, congratulations, David, on your election in Southend. It's amazing to see Southend is now red. Not just you, but a colleague in the next door seat as well. So I look forward to working with you to keep Southend fully red going forward. And it's good that we've got someone from the respectable part of the Parliamentary Labour Party here, because in Afsal Khan we've got somebody from the slightly less respectable part of the Parliamentary Labour Party here as well. So it's good to see new, if I may say so, and not quite so new here as well. There are one or two other familiar faces from business around the table here as well, and it's great to see you here at the Labour Party conference. I hope today, the business day, has been useful and successful, and I can only apologise that your evening is ending with you having to listen to me. It's great to be here with SME for Labour nonetheless, partly because Ibrahim is not a force for nature, but more a mafia don. It is remarkable the growth of SME for Labour. If you think about when SME for Labour started in slightly less auspicious times for the relationship between business and the Labour Party, and the growth and the way in which you have come to be the voice for small businesses within all sorts of Labour Party fora is remarkable, and that's great credit to you, Ibrahim. Thank you very much for your work, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. And then brilliant, Kerry, to have you here from Intuit. Thank you very much for your support this evening. And Conrad, thank you for for coming along and supporting the event tonight as well. Let me, if I may, just say a few words about the agenda that we see for small businesses going forward. 99% of UK businesses are counted in the SME category, almost 17 million jobs, 61% of total UK employment, 2.4 trillion in annual turnover, and that's more than 50% of the UK economy, which means I reckon that I'm having to work harder than every other minister in government to drive the government's growth agenda. And if you could spread the word that you share that analysis, I'd be extremely grateful. We know in the Department for Business that if we're to achieve the mission that Keir has set for the country, that Britain should have the highest rate of sustained growth in the G7, that we have got to help unlock some of the barriers that are holding back Britain's great small and medium-sized businesses from seeing even more of their potential to be fulfilled. So you will know that in opposition we published a 9-point plan on support to small businesses. That is the lodestar by which we're operating at the moment. So some of you will have noticed that last week we moved to make progress straight away on one of those pledges, is tackling the scourge of late payment by big business to small business for invoices. Two-stage plan on legislation, a move on legislation immediately in this parliamentary session, and a consultation on further measures coming within weeks, backed up by tougher enforcement of the existing rules that operate at the moment. One of the big issues that people talk to us about in terms of small businesses is around business rates. I know it's a huge issue for many businesses that operate in the retail and hospitality sector, and therefore it was great to hear Rachel Reeves today recommitting to delivering a fairer business rate system. So I know small businesses will be looking for all sorts of reasons at what's coming on the 30th of October in the budget, but hopefully signals on business rate reform will be extremely welcome as well. We know too that one of the ways in which we will be judged on whether we are successful in supporting small businesses will be on the extent to which our high streets feel revitalised and different 4 years from now. So one of the big challenges is working with the Home Office to tackle the surge in retail crime, the scourge of shoplifting, which affects an antisocial behaviour, which affects too many of our high streets. And in that regard, I hope people will have noticed the movement on the determination to bring in more police, but also to tackle violence against shop workers and to end the immunity, the £200 immunity figure for shoplifters. We'll be making progress on that. Your food is coming round. Please do start eating, because that'll make it less likely that you're able to heckle me. Just one or two other thoughts. Skills, house building, clean energy. We know that support to small businesses to help them both recruit talent and keep that talent is going to be crucial going forward. So we hope that the establishment of Skills England and reform of the apprenticeship levy will help to make those tasks a little bit easier for small businesses going forward. On exports, we heard in opposition a lot about the difficulties that small businesses face, both in trading into our near neighbourhood, Europe. So we are looking as a government at what we can do to reduce some of the border difficulties, but also to think through how we can better support small businesses across the landscape, get their goods into new markets going forward. We want this country to be the best place not only to start up, but also to scale up. And I'm struck by the figures which show the sharp disparity in figures between our place in the world in terms of being a good place to start up, third in the world in that regard, but only 13th in the world in terms of scaling up success. That's something we've got to tackle. I think that's in part about access to finance. So great to hear Conrad saying he's going to make it much easier for small businesses to get access to finance. We think there is quite a big job of work to do to think through the different issues around access to finance going forward, and we're looking at what we can do on that. But I think one of the tasks that I face is having to make sure that thinking around small businesses is locked into the industrial strategy, is locked into our work on the trade strategy my colleague Douglas Alexander is working on, and that all the other different bits of government that for all sorts of reasons and great ideas, but making sure those are fully thought through in terms of their impact on small businesses. We will publish at some point next year a strategy to think through what else we could do in these issues, going on from the 9-point plan we published in opposition, but thinking what are the key measures that will really move the dial on helping small businesses in this country fulfil their potential. So those of you with expertise and thoughts on that, we will want to hear from you within the department, so we can see use your expertise and knowledge, and if you don't mind, to push you and push your thinking to see if we can really come up with some new groundbreaking thinking that will really genuinely move things forward. I appreciate very much the invitation from Ibrahim to come this evening. I apologise that I can't stay with you for dessert, but I do hope that I'll be able to perhaps move around the room and have one or two conversations before I go. But Ibrahim, thanks very much for making me come this evening, and thanks very much again to our sponsors and our host.
Thank you very much, Gareth. Please enjoy your dinner. If we have time, we will do, I'm not sure what time you're leaving, Gareth, but we may do a few quick Q&As if we've got some time after the mains, yeah?